Hi, this is Mike Zagata, President and CEO of the Ruffed Grouse Society. And I'd like to spend some time with you today talking about a little bird that really can provide magic for us in the spring and magic for us again in the fall. And that little bird is called the American Woodcock, or timberdoodle. If the ruffed grouse is the king of the game birds, the timberdoodle is surely his sidekick. It's a great bird if you enjoy hunting with a dog because it holds tight. It has a very erratic flight and is very difficult to hit, so it provides for a lot of recreational opportunity, not necessarily a lot of harvest. But the bird is unique, and it's unique in several ways. First of all, it's migratory. That means that it spends the summer in the northern part of the U.S. and Canada, where it rears its young. Then in fall, it flies south, back across the same ground that it flew across when it was going back north in spring. And it winters in the south, Cape May, New Jersey, and really quite heavily in Louisiana, and moves back and forth a little bit depending on the severity of the winter weather in the southern states. But the woodcock is such a neat little bird. In spring, when it comes back north, you can hear it twittering, making a little eek sound as it flies upward in its mating display. If you enjoy going out in the evening, go out and listen. Get a record so that you can hear what that song is like in the twitter when it's falling back to earth. Listen to that song and then go out and see if you can actually see that magical little bird as it spirals upward and then back down to earth in its courtship flight. And if you can actually see that happen while it's in the air, if you saw where it left from, put a hat down where it left from, and it might actually land in your hat when it comes back to earth. It's a great way to spend an evening with friends. It's exciting when you actually see the bird. And then, that magical time of the bird's life cycle is over and it goes about rearing its young. Where do you find woodcock? How would you know where to look for one? Well, they like places much like grouse like. We say that they like places with a high stem density. Now that sounds good if you say it fast, but what's it really mean? It means that they like places that are thick brush where hawks and owls and other avian predators can't fly in and prey upon them. They like the protection that's afforded by the thick brush. But woodcock also like a loamy soil, not a rocky soil, but a loamy soil, and the reason is that they feed on earthworms. They have a long prehensile bill. There's a big word. What's prehensile mean? It means that they can actually open and close the tip of their bill while it's down in the ground. So they use their ears to locate a worm, and then they probe with that long bill, and then open the tip and then pinch down on the worm and pull it back up through the hole that they made with their bill. So their primary food is earthworms. So now we know that we're probably going to find them where you have a loamy soil, where you don't have a thick sod cover because they can't probe through the sod, and where you have some moisture because that means that the earthworms are likely to be more up toward the surface. The other thing that they like to do is move out into fields at night. So I've just kind of set the stage for where you might go to find them. If you have an alder thicket next to a field, that's probably a good place to look for woodcock. And there's some other places, but I'm not going to tell you what all of them are. I'd like you to go out and explore a little bit and see what you can find for yourself. See if you flush a woodcock, observe where you flushed it from, and then go back to other places that look like that and see if you can find more woodcock. Now we've got the bird through the spring, into the summer, and fall arrives. Fall is the time when the foliage is turning. It's a spectacular time to be out in the woods, and it's also the time when the season is open to hunt woodcock. And as I said, they're a great bird if you hunt with a dog because they hold tight. They have a very erratic flight. It's a spectacular bird to actually hunt, and your success rate is likely to be fairly low. But yet, in spite of that, those of us that enjoy working with a dog go after the woodcock as often as we can, and we wait for that magical time when the fall flights are in. What's that mean, fall flights? Well, remember we said the woodcock was migratory. So in fall, it's going to leave the summer place where it raised its young up north, and as the frost sets in and winter begins to send signals that it's on its way, that bird will try to be just ahead of it, moving south. Why? Because it's pretty hard to probe into the ground with your long bill when the ground is frozen solid. Sometimes you'll find the woodcock just ahead or actually still in the snow a little bit as they're moving south. And when that happens, when they get caught by a snowstorm, look for them around little seeps, little spring areas that aren't frozen because of the temperature of the spring water, and that's where that bird will hole up until it makes the next leap south as part of its migratory flight. I hope you found that interesting and that you spend some time looking for the wily woodcock. Have a great day.